Will it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive?
Doesn't matter what you drive.
This is your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, Kelly Boyd, and Miss...
It's Jess.
Anybody? Just Jess.
Jess, Gun Bronco.
Oh, man.
Jess Hands.
Jess Hands?
Jess Hands. There you go.
You remember that Will and Grace show where they had the neighbor friend, Jack?
Yes.
And he used to come in all the time and go,
Just Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just Jess.
That's it. That's what it was. I knew there was a pop culture reference, and I couldn't think off the top of my head of what pop culture reference would be. So thank you for bringing my brain.
It's Monday.
2025. I think
right.
it is.
Yes. Happy Monday, everybody, man. I'm trying to get over being sick here at the household. If you didn't know, well, clearly they know because we weren't at the Chicago Auto Show.
You didn't see any Chicago content.
Yeah, we get into that in a little bit. We got some Jeep news tonight we want to talk about because there was that big ad in the big game last night that I think is actually newsworthy. And there was another ad by Stellantis that was just awful. The Goldilocks one. Do you remember that one?
Oh, the Ram.
Yeah.
The three bears.
It was weird.
It was
the three
not,
Rams.
That was not a good, which is unusual for that brand to not, and I don't mean just Ram, but that company in general to not be on point with their ads because normally you remember the time they had the Dodge Charger Challengers and you had George Washington in them driving and they were like going whatever the battle was and they're in the Dodge products. It was great, but that ad was, but we'll get into that.
Hey, you can't win them all.
No, you can't. Take that, Casey. You can't win them all, buddy.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah. My Bengals say, take that.
Especially when they fell on the sword so that the Bengals couldn't get in. Like, how shady was that?
Don't give me. You're bringing up
sorry.
wounds here, man.
I'm just gonna say you stated it. Like,
I know.
Casey fell on the sword so the Bengals couldn't get in, and yet
they couldn't
finish it.
It's called karma, is what that is.
It is.
But no, it was a fun game though.
It was.
I woke up because once again, not feeling great. I woke up at the end of the first half. I told Kelly, it's like, I think the game's on.
He did. I was watching Silo on Apple TV, and Dave goes, I think the Super Bowl or the big game's on. Sorry, we can't say that word.
You can say Super Bowl.
Can you say it now?
Well, you can. It's just you can't use it in advertising.
Okay. Well, anyway, he's like, I think it's on. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess like I saw this map. I don't know if you saw this, Jess, but I saw this map and I told Dave about it. It's the map of the US and like the states that were for the Eagles were in green and the states that were for Kansas City were in red. And then all the other states were gray. Well, there were literally only 2 states that were colored in the entire United States because of what, the 2 teams just in this like post. And I thought it was kind of funny because that's kind of how I've noticed a lot of people were. A lot of people didn't really have a team to root for. They were just like anybody but Kansas City or sure, the Eagles can win. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like there really wasn't a.
No, they're Philadelphia is very Philadelphia. I'm sure Jess knows through shipping dealing with Philadelphia I used to have to deal with a guitar string company back in the day, and Diodario Strings was based out of I believe Philadelphia. I think, or their call center was that I had to call, and yeah, it was.
You mean when they were still stateside? I
think it was Philadelphia. I don't remember. All I remember is that area of the country would eat their own. Like their own children.
Wow.
They're brutal. I don't know what it is. And I apologize.
Hey, you got to survive the winter.
Insulting, half like 4 areas of states there, but it's kind of how I feel. But
wow.
Yeah, wasn't really a good game, which was great for me because I just wanted to see the Chiefs get their ass handed to them. So I was happy about that. Jess, I don't know about your household over there if you guys even cared, but
I mean, we like went and got party snacks and we're ready to, watch the commercial show.
That's it.
So, it wasn't, we're not super big sports fans. I actually
sports ball for you? No sports ball over there for y'all?
No, Mark's into the sports ball a little more than I thought. He doesn't regularly watch football anymore, but he used to.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like a sports fan the same way some people go to church, right? You go to church on Christmas, Easter, birthday, weddings, and funerals, right? So like I watch the sports ball when it's like the Super Bowl, the Michigan Ohio State game, if the Red Wings
guys.
and like maybe one other thing, like I'm more interested in watching like Olympic swimming time trials because I was just for a long time.
Isn't it crazy all the things that we're just like meh, but then they're like yes, because like I was never a gymnast at all, but like that is my sport when I watch like the Olympics is I watch gymnastics. Like I watch, but no offense, boys, but I don't care about the boys gymnastics. I care all about the girls because they're just so fascinating. And don't give me this ribbon twirling thing. I don't want that. I want the like legit, the like floor routines, the uneven bars, the vaults.
You want the V8 of
the balance beam. Yeah, I want the V8 of the gymnastics.
You want to watch the stuff where someone's potentially going to break a bone, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I don't want to see them break a bone.
What if they're twirling the thing and they break their wrist?
That's not the ribbon thing. No offense, but just the ribbon thing is just not my.
It's like that little 3-cylinder engine that Toyota puts in their GR Corolla is what that is. Like
wow,
high horsepower. It's just still not impressive. But yeah, tonight we're gonna talk about some of the things from the big game ad wise that we did see. Jeep kind of, I felt like, did a really good job with the with their brand of saying, hey, this is where we're at, because the brand just hasn't had a good past year and a year and a half. Sales are way down.
Mm-hmm.
The confusion be going, hey, we're going EV. And there's been all this confusion. Obviously, we get a new administration that can, I don't know if it's good or bad for any automotive company anymore, because they're like, damn it, we've been planning 4 years for this. Now this guy says we can do this. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do anymore. And I've talked about that a little bit in previous shows, but I felt like they did a good job of laying out, here's our past, here's our present, and here's our future. Mm-hmm. What did you think of that,
Kelly? We talking about that commercial?
Yeah,
no, I agree. I definitely thought it was a military, just an overall military commercial. When I first saw it kind of pop up, I was like, oh, they're going to pay homage to, the military. And because some advertisers will do that during the big game, is they will actually, put it out there and say, thank you to our military. So there was a little bit of that to this, I kind of gathered, but it was more of like, hey, we've been around since the beginning of all of this. So I thought it was quite entertaining, to be honest with you. Yeah. I love me some Harrison Ford though.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean,
Harrison Ford in a Jeep commercial.
Yeah, which I thought that was a really fun way to play on his last name. I mean, obviously you think of his name.
I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah, but you just don't until they made a point of it at the end to be like, hey, and I'm even a Ford.
I thought it was an 1883 or not an 1883, but the other one.
Yeah. I was a little worried though that it was right here, like it was about to get political, and I was like, please, man, we've had a lot of years of, I don't need to be preached to. I just want to enjoy the game, see a nice ad, and I was nice to see that it really wasn't in all of the ads. Really wasn't a lot of preachy. I think the current way the country feels is like, hey, can we just like, we've had a lot of years of beating each other up. Can we just have some fun here? Right there, that right there.
Yeah, 1923. Thank you, Laura.
Which comes out, I think, next week. Let's see. I want to pause this real quick. Well, not that part. Where'd it go?
Too soon.
Yeah,
too soon. Don't jump yet.
Right here. Well, so me and Kelly, I giggled when I saw this part of the ad right there. Jess, I don't know if you can see this or not. That's a 392. Love that.
Yes.
You drive
them. Fun.
It's a lot of fun to drive. You hear that V8 start up. Excuse me. And you're like, oh shit, that thing is badass. But the problem with it is they've killed this thing twice, at minimum twice. They've killed this thing off. We're doing a final edition. V8s are going out of the company because previous leadership was hell bent on we're going EV. And so they were going to start losing cylinders and just slowly transitioning to full EV. And really the blue collar people who buy the brand didn't want that. EV sales are tanking right now, and I think they'll rebound. I think what it shows was there was that first big wave of electric coming in, past Tesla and what Nissan was offering, and people experiencing went, maybe it's not right for me just yet. Not to say the EV's going anywhere, it's not, but with Stellantis and Jeep especially, the old administration wanted they wanted, and I don't mean political administration, I'm talking about the old leadership,
the old Stellantis.
Yes, they wanted that to go down that Range Rover path. They wanted to take Jeep and make it a very kind of like off-road luxury brand, which is not their bread and butter by any means.
Well, but if you think about it, it's chasing money. Like, because if you're putting a vehicle in a higher level, you're chasing money is what you're chasing. Well, so it's not a dumb idea, but at the same point, I think they missed the market on that one.
Do you think they could do that with the Jeep name, though? I think of the way, Ford section off. It used to be Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, right? Mercury mid-grade, or, and they still have the Lincoln brand because, Ford trucks, built Ford tough. It's not, built Ford comfortable. It is. But, and I wonder if they moved that way in taking, the Wrangler and making a bougie Wrangler, would they still be able to call it a Jeep and grab that money?
I think that's a good call out because I don't know, because rugged is not, like you said, built for tough is not built for comfortable. It's just kind of the same idea. Wrangler to me means it's a beast and it's going to do its thing. Now, don't kill me, Bronco people. I'm just saying based on the name that in its history, to me, it's rugged. It's supposed to do the work.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it's comfortable. And I guess part of us were biased to that because it wasn't comfortable for us when we had a Jeep either.
You look at the World War II stuff, where the Jeep came from. Obviously, there was no intentions to be comfortable. It was a utilitarian vehicle. It served a purpose. It was built specifically for a purpose. It wasn't built to be a mass-produced, readily available vehicle for me and you. It was built for military use
and to be fixable.
Yeah. Yes, this is
in the bush.
Why? And the reason the window flops down is because they shipped them in crates. Man, they put all 4 tires in the crates. You put the tires on, fold the window up, and basically you were good to go.
It was build your own truck essentially.
Yeah, and somewhere when the GIs came back, they wanted that. They did time off-roading in Europe or in the Pacific, and they were like, that's kind of a fun hobby. I would like to do that in America's full of terrain. You can do that, especially in the 40s, 50s. You didn't have interstates going everywhere, so there was still a lot of open land. And now the way the company is, like this 392 that they're showing here is $100,000 Jeep.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing them for $6,000 to $8,000 all day long. YJs, brand new. I remember the old hand drawn ads that you used to get. You would see them like that all day long. And somehow I feel like they've really lost their way, which is fine at a point because they do, you've got Wagoneer now and you've got the Grand Cherokee, stuff like that. They definitely have ways of doing it, but I feel like that the leadership has just went all in. No, they all have to be this way. And they've really pushed out the blue collar guy out of, out of the segment really. And if the blue collar guy can't afford something like this, the bougie guy, they're bougie for a reason. They're moving on to something else. They're not brand loyal necessarily. They're of the moment. Me and you could be considered that way because we have to move around vehicle to vehicle, right. So we could be of the moment. But the Jeep, people see Jeep. This is what they see: the Wrangler. They don't see. You say Jeep to any European, they don't go, "Oh yeah, Wagoneer," or something like that. They think GI Jeep. And so I think this ad really needed to. They're refocusing the company. Tavares left the company a couple months ago. Even, Jeep internally lost a lot of management because they weren't happy with where the direction the company was going. Now that management's slowly coming back together And I think this ad was said, hey, this is who we are. We didn't forget. We may not showed who we are, but here, this is who we are. But back to my point about this thing, and I'll end.
Say your soapbox.
I know. I'll end in my rant on this. I just found it funny that they were bragging about this V8, something that I don't know is for 25. I have not seen it for 25 yet, but here's an ad in 25 going, V8s, baby, we're back. More power. We need the power. We do V8s, remember?
Well, and do you remember numbers on the 392?
What, horsepower wise?
No. Do you remember like how many they sold? And
they don't split it up.
They don't split it. Because I'd be curious to know if they realized that it sold well enough that they can justify and say, wait, whoa, nope, people don't want this to go away. Like there's more people that want it than we thought.
I think when 392 Jeep was introduced, it was a reaction to Bronco.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, and that's the only reason the loyalists have asked for years and years. I'm saying probably 20 years.
Well, how you hear it on the Bronco side?
But please give us a V8. Please give us. But unlike Bronco side, there was conversions for V8s.
Right.
A lot of this stuff was pretty bolt and easy plug and play kind of stuff. And then there was I can't think of the company in Michigan that did all the conversions to them. It was pretty easy to do. So you could sort of get I want a V8 in this, get my fix. Well, Bronco comes, steals a little thunder, 392. And it's very on par with the old FCA brand, the old Fiat side of like, when in doubt, throw a V8 in it. We've seen it in a lot of vehicles like the Durango 392.
Which is fun.
Raptor, we want to play the Raptors territory. Supercharged Hemi, let's go. And so for that brand to suddenly just dump V8s and EV, it was a little scary, I think, for the blue collar people that love the brand,
right?
Jim and Kelly, they're Ford people, till it comes to this,
yes,
and they're hardcore Jeep people, and Jim will not drive the Bronco stuff because he knows. And I can't
believe you let him drive the Mustang before he drove the Bronco, because that was the rule in this house.
Well, that's what best friends do.
Not okay.
But yeah, we have friends that are their house divided between themselves of like, if I want an off-road toy, it's going to be a Jeep.
Right.
They won't look at the Bronco.
Right.
But I think this brand, the ad was built specifically for this to go, hey, we haven't forgotten, and then I'll let it play on. And sorry, there's no volume. I don't want copyright strikes on this because of the music behind it. But then this right here, this was hilarious to me because I've heard Kelly goes, "Is that a Bronco?" And
I said that is a Bronco.
Oh yeah, and I was like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure this was like the most yelling at our house of the whole game was this. I was like, all the swears, and I couldn't believe it. Well, it started when I was like Harrison Ford, and as most everyone knows, Mark has the Star Wars Bronco, and Star Wars is a big thing at our house. And I was like, Han Solo's on TV. Like, we're super excited. Like, what's he selling? And then he goes and picks up like the Jeep key fob, and we were like, no.
Well, one thing you and I have not talked about, but in the shot, do you notice that the Bronco is going over the more difficult terrain and the Jeep is just taking the highway past the Bronco? I'm just saying. Just an observation. You're welcome, Bronco people.
Well, there was a couple things, and I thought about this last night, and I did a video on this morning about kind of this ad, because I think it's a well-crafted ad. But I did say it was interesting that the Jeep's doors are off, and there are no legal mirrors on the side of this thing, and they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to showcase Bronco that way, because
I did notice it didn't have
the mirrors would still be on that. Which so this part of the ad, let me turn this. I do want to play the volume right here. We won't get hit for it really, but let me do this.
And the silence of another's. Freedom is the ability to inspire.
Freedom is the ability to inspire. So that was the very clever.
AKA we inspired the Bronco.
But a couple things. This dude's smile is the creepiest shit I've ever seen in my life. I swear to God, I watched this over and over, and I was trying to clip this out for the thumbnail, but I didn't want to be the poor actor, he can't help it. They told him, hey, creepy smile. But seriously, like the whole time he's driving here is just creep, like a mass murderer. Look at the smile, Kelly.
Stop it.
Like I'm
Leave the
gonna
poor guy alone.
Well, I mean, he's smiling at the Bronco, right?
He is. He's so excited that the Bronco looks that good.
He's like, these doors are off. I could just jump right in that thing.
If only the Broncos doors came off. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
But I did think it was interesting that to inspire. Why though? And I want y'all to answer in the comments here too. Why in the world would you have a response to a vehicle that is your competition in your ad trying to say, hey, we're an American company. We're doing it again. Look at us.
Well, and I didn't pay too much attention to socials today because like some of us have to work jobs.
What?
I know it's blasphemy.
I gotta go back.
I know you were homesick today, so you get a little bit of an excuse. But the little I did pay attention, it was kind of like, hey, we can play in the same sandbox. Like we can play, like we can have a good time. We don't have to always be. I mean, and Harrison Ford says it at some point. It's like we're all out here to have a good time or something. Whatever he says. Like whatever he says, wherever he says it, but he's talking about like, wave if you want to wave.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter? And I think that's kind of an interesting response from Jeep that we've seen in the groups, right? So Jess, you and I have seen it in the groups where it's like, I can't believe a Jeep waved at me or like whatever. Yeah. Like I've been waved at by Jeeps. I've been waved at by Broncos. I've been waved at by all sorts of different like vehicles. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. It's paying homage to be like, hey, nice vehicle.
And both, let's be honest, they did homework. Was homework stolen? Of course it was. Was the Bronco ever like what the Wrangler is now? No. I love a Gen 1, but let's be honest, it's not anything like what these are now. But Ford saw this. We wanted to play in this playground. We wanted that classic look of the old Bronco. Can we take what Jeep's doing over here? That's smart. Yeah. A lot of money in invest in that too, because this is not simple. Simple way to build a vehicle. I just did find it funny thinking, wow, like, and maybe to your point, Kelly, maybe they're just saying, hey, we can play in the same playground and be fine, which would be a good thing for the community. Now, this is off-road community, so don't kill me on this. But
I think that's the difference right there.
Yeah. But we have to get along because for one, we're losing land. We're losing access to land like crazy. I think the current administration probably is a little too easily to delete some of that and go, no, go do what you want. But I would like to see lands open back, especially Moab area. They closed, the last administration closed a lot of land. I know Obama administration closed a lot of land.
Well, and it killed a lot of off-road events too, because I know Moab made it very difficult for groups to come in because they wanted to protect their lands and they felt like the groups were the ones that were ruining the land.
There was the people that tried to steal the dinosaur footprint that time that ruined that, and they finally got it back. But
or they wrote on the side of the rocks
and then was acted like, oh, I don't know why I didn't do that. Didn't she blame her daughter or something?
So for those of you that don't know the story, unfortunately it was a Nissan event that we knew of, that a lady had gone out and she, yes, it was because it came back that it was a Nissan event. She had actually like not carved deep, but like if you see a side of a rock or that type of thing, you can actually like use another rock and just kind of sort of carve on the side of a rock. Well, they did it in Moab on one of the vehicles, and it ended up coming back that it was, I don't think you're going to find it. It wasn't that big of news, but she was just like, well, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, and so it had actually like carved into the side of it. Again, it would have eventually washed off because it wasn't like it was graffiti or things like that. It was
still pretty
the soft, but it was still disrespectful to the land and kind of came back, and it was not a good thing.
And maybe that's the underlying message here of them saying, hey, we all need to play nice.
Yeah.
And to your point, the wave thing that they talk about in a minute. Jess, anything that you could think of like would be a positive to them showing the competitor's vehicle here? It's not unusual that car companies do this, by the way. I know we're all like, whoa, our Broncos are in there. What are they doing? I've seen in other ads, trust me.
Let Jess answer the question you asked her.
But I was trying to
go ahead,
Jess.
Trying to feed me the answers.
Right.
I think you said it, Dave.
Lead the questioning.
For us, as much as not your household as much as mine, maybe most of mine, like said it before, I'll say it again. I'm very brand loyal to Ford. I have been. I've had to been. But since the last handful of years, since I've moved into taking my Ford into the off-roading community, it's a shift, right? And like you said about the waving, right? Like at first you're like, oh, I'm not gonna look, there's a Jeep, and you're all mad. But then you realize, like, you see a Jeep driving down the road, going to the mall that's filthy. You're like, oh, that's my people. Yeah. Right? Like, it doesn't matter what you're driving. Like, oh, you got a rooftop tent? Hey, what's up, Overland dude? I know.
Right. I bet you've never used that.
It looks cute up there, parked at Macy's.
With his widow ladder.
But I think, and Davey you mentioned it, it's the off-roading community, I think, that brings us together. As much as we hooted and hollered at this and seeing, Jeep put a Bronco in their ad, it was kind of like, oh, good. They know we're all bros, right? Like, because at the end of the day, all those things that are important to us, no matter what we're driving, are important,
If they're all if we're all bros, is that bros before hoes? How does that work in the automotive world?
Just let Jess talk.
We don't want hoes. We're good. Bros before hoes. Cheers to that.
And bros. Bro, Jess. Bro.
But I mean, it's, and I'm sure this is kind of where the conversation is leading, right? Like, what does that say to Jeep's, like, trying to show the Broncos in the dust, right? Like, clearly they took the lettering off the front. We all know what vehicle it is.
Right.
But it was just kind of like, what are you doing?
Well, and I'm sure they had to not pay Ford something for this commercial too. So
look at the smile.
Stop with the stop.
It's super creepy there, Dave.
It doesn't matter what. It's like that movie Smile.
Stop it! You haven't even seen it and won't see it.
But I've seen the ads. I didn't need to see the movie. Like, that dude is doing that smile from that movie. I swear to God. Because watch, his head doesn't even turn. That's all I hear, and it's like,
okay. So one thing I do have to say that Jeep does better than Bronco. Don't kill me, Bronco people. Their hard tops are so much better.
Well, I think Jess has got the new hard top that's going to ultimately be.
Well, yes. So your hard top is very similar to the Jeep the Jeep hard top, and I will say that the Jeep hard top has been the best hard top that I've seen out there. So I will say that obviously their tenure in the industry has definitely paid off.
They've had time. They've had a lot of time.
That's what I'm saying. Their tenure has paid off and to be able to develop and things like that. So we can't totally knock it from that perspective.
I think I think to kind of pick on the top we have currently, because Alcione wouldn't switch us tops. I'm
Stop it. You didn't even ask.
I did hint to her about that. But no, I think that Ford, I've seen a lot of people this week bitching about cracks, like a lot of cracks. And I'm like, please, Fords? Yes. And you know what Ford should do? Just go, okay, look, we messed up. When your top cracks, you get the new top, the new style. We'll do a molded in color in that.
Yeah.
Just quit playing around with that. But that's a whole nother topic. But Mr. Smile here, I do like too, like, if you look at the Bronco, it's black, boring. It's, kind of just like,
our Bronco's black.
I'm talking about in the ad.
Wait,
and then you got, is that Tuscadero?
No, that's the red. It's not Tuscadero pink.
Is it? You sure?
Yeah, it's red.
Anyways, there's Creepy Smile.
I'm pretty
sure it's red for red, white, and blue.
Yeah, sure. And we got the Rubicon, right? Against probably a base.
Well, this is so this is their high end. If you look, it's got, I do like these tops, by the way, how the sides pop out.
It's got their Sunrider up top or whatever they call it.
But yeah, and the most high tech thing they have versus the most low tech thing the competition has here. And Creepy Smile. Look at that. He just not, but he nodded. He did nod and go, okay, when we're out of charge.
Wait, they don't have a sticker on the side. You can't tell what package it is.
We know
it's
a big bin. It's a big bin. See the wheels?
Yeah.
It's got to be, and that's like the stock bumper.
Yeah. I'm not going to beat it up, though.
I'm pretty sure it's carbonized gray, Dave. It's not
black. I think so, too.
We all make mistakes, Jess. We all make mistakes.
Well, I'm here to fix them for you.
Laura asked for you to do the laughing sound again from Creepy Dude Smile again.
I don't remember.
I don't think he can.
Sorry. You'll just have to rewind it.
I think it was a something like that. Anyway.
Wait, let's see if I can bring
it. You thought it was a 4xe, but it's not.
Yes, that's a 4xe.
I didn't think the Rubicon came in a 4xe.
Yeah, see the blue around the lettering. Means 4xe.
Yeah.
Which is that's part of Jeep's problem too that they've had over the years. That hey, they forced the previous leadership forced everybody. They were forcing you could only buy the 4xe. We drove the 4xe. It's not a good for what I know of Jeeps. For what we've drove of Jeeps. That was not an enjoyable driving experience. If that was your first Jeep and you were forced into that, you would be like, for one, we all know Jeep, straight axle.
Right.
You got to participate to drive. But then on top of it with the goofy regenerative braking and all that, you thought you had a plug-in.
But they all do regenerative braking. So you really can't knock just Jeep for that.
but in that style vehicle, you're not expecting it.
I'm just letting you know. Like
really? Thanks. Let me know. Hey, everybody.
You can be challenged, sir. You don't have to think that you're right all the time.
Well, I think
there's a little
thinking and knowing
for y'all.
are two separate things.
Wow, really?
No, but to my point though, Kelly, you drove that 4xe. It wasn't a fun experience, and if you're forcing the previous leadership forced everybody, that's what a Jeep Wrangler is now. That's probably explains sales.
I won't say it was a terrible experience, but it wasn't the best experience I've had.
So let me ask a dumb question because I don't know anything about Jeeps. What's a 4xe?
It's a hybrid.
It's a plug-in hybrid. So you supposedly can get, what is it? I think up to 40 miles on a charge, roughly, weather dependent, temperature dependent.
And we've talked to a couple of different owners on it, and they did not.
A lot of electrical problems.
And it wasn't anybody that we reached out to say, hey, or it wasn't any say, hey, we heard you had issues. Tell us more about it. It was literally, hey, what do you think about the 4xe? And the answers were, it's not really lived up to what I thought it was going to be. I use more gas than I thought I would because the charge just doesn't heavier. The charge just doesn't do what I expected it to. Like there was a lady we talked to at a Jeep event that we went to that she was a nurse and she just pretty much just used it to commute back and forth to the hospital. And she's like, I use way more gas than I ever expected I would because the charge doesn't hold as well as I expected.
Well, and then off-road, it's awful.
Right.
You get maybe get 8 miles on the charge, which Jess, off-road, that's nothing. But it brought their cafe regs up a little bit. It got them under the banner. I think they could get the tax credits for it, and then because of it's a PHEV, so we can do that. So when people paid an extra $8,000 for these bastards, then they go, oh well, I saved $6,500, and Jeep's over there going, yeah, but I just made another extra $2,000. Thanks.
Yeah, like
ultimately
back in the day.
I think it hurt the company, but the ad itself, though, once again, going back to America. Now, this was nice. So what you see behind them there is the Recon, which is Jeep's fully electric SUV. It's basically taking the place of the Cherokee. It was supposed to come out last year, for whatever reason it's been delayed. And it's supposed to come out Q2 or Q3 this year. And it's interesting because it's an SUV. Well, the doors come off. So you get that kind of fun factor of the Wrangler, but in more of a soccer mom kind of way.
So are they starting to push into that upper bougie? Do you think that this is more the bougie level?
Yes, this is definitely for one, it's fully electric, so it's more expensive.
Right.
But yeah, no, 100%. I did find it interesting that how they were trying to shape this ad. And here's the old you can wave if you want to.
Yeah.
Probably broke Harrison Ford's heart to be nice to something right there. He's kind of known to be a little
You're a hater.
This part right here was really nice. And to me, this said a lot. Let me rewind this back and play this again.
It's funny. Probably about 25 years ago, my brother bought a Wrangler, sort of on a whim. And I'll never forget, we were driving around town one day up in, little suburbia, Michigan. And somebody Jeep waved him. And I was like, wait, is this a thing? Like, do you wave to Jeep people? And that was my first introduction to the Jeep wave.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure ever since then, every time I saw a Wrangler, I was like, oh, people are waving to them.
Isn't that funny?
Cool. Like, I wave, I know we talked about the wave thing. It's not a big deal, but like I wave to Bronco people all the time. And like, we've kind of established at our house, it seems like there's a difference between people with the Bronco and Bronco people, right? Like if you're kind of into it and like living the Bronco life, you're going to wave to other Bronco people. If you just bought a Bronco because they're freaking sweet, you don't really know you're supposed to wave.
Well, I think Bronco brought in, we've talked about this many times. Bronco brought in, it stole some sales from Jeep, and some of those might return back to the Jeep. And they were like, I like the Jeep. But it brought in a lot of new people
100%
to this style of vehicle. So I think that's why the Wave hasn't necessarily caught on. As many Facebook groups there are, you would think.
Oh my goodness.
Well, but not everybody's on social media.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about it before. Like, I think now that, that client base has shifted from where it was in the last, 3 years since Bronco has been back out. Like, it was us who were waiting and wanting, and off-roaders and people that wanted to do Bronco shit with their Bronco. And I think it's shifted now. And people are like, oh, those Broncos are cool. I've seen them around. I'll grab one of those. All the kids in the soccer gear will fit in it. Cool. Let's go.
100%. And I know you and I've seen it in our favorite group that we're in, and like they're brand new to it and go, I didn't know, is this an Easter egg? No, that's not an Easter egg. That's just your dashboard. Like
that's like, the radio.
And we're so like,
that's called a steering wheel.
But it's just like, we've become, it sounds terrible. But there's,
I'm over Easter eggs, by the way.
We're Bronco elitists.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Essentially, it was like, we're kind of Bronco elitists at this point, because we're like, we knew that 3 years ago. Like, what? Where you been? Like,
I mean, at the same time, like,
on the bandwagon now.
We're still helpful, and 100%. We try to guide people, and not be jerks about it. But
you gotta want to be guided, and I think that's the thing, is sometimes people don't want to be guided. But that's a whole nother show. But
if they did, Google would help them out a lot, and they don't seem to.
Yeah, it would be. But like, I mean, I think it is. We've lived and breathed in like Bronco for so long that some of us are just like, what do you mean you don't know that that's not an Easter egg? Not necessarily in a negative way, but like,
we're not fresh recruits. We
already know
rugged,
this. Like, how's that work?
We've been through battles together.
Right. So we've been through battles. Like, we waited so long. I
got my Purple Heart for the Ducks.
I don't know if you've seen it lately too, Jess. Sorry, while he coughs up a lung over here. Where I don't know if you've seen it, where people are coming in now and being like, how do I get one of those hammocks? Like, how do I get that? It was like, you don't belong here, is like the thought process of like, you don't understand what we went through to get that hammock, or
658 days. Then you can have a hammock.
Exactly. So I think it's interesting how there are definitely different levels of Bronco owners that have been, like you said, been through it, been through the mud, been through the muck of like trying to own your Bronco and being told it was going to be here, and then going, oh man, it's not going to be here. It's pushed again, or it's this, or it's that, or there's a recall, or there's this. And so I think it's definitely interesting, different folks.
So what is Joshua Rittenhouse? He got something funny here.
Joshua Rittenhouse says, remember that first year where the Bronco community, it's such a different time when Broncos were so rare. It's true. Like, you see them down the road now and you're just like, oh, that's a base Squatch.
Yeah. And, but to kind of back to the Jeep thing a little bit, they've had generations and generations now, Wrangler owners.
Yeah.
So they didn't have social media to go through this. They had Jeep for them,
right?
Which once again would kill their own kid to be correct about something that didn't matter, about some
which is just crazy
that doesn't affect anything. But yeah, and unfortunately for Bronco owners, you live in the age of social media, and not just one social media. You've got 15 different apps plus
different platforms.
Facebook, you've got 400 different. Everybody
groups.
wants to run their own forum, and so and then you see the same five people in every one of them.
Yeah, and they're admins of the same groups too.
Probably
me,
but it's basically just no. But this right here, this part of this ad was great to me. because it shows, hey, where we're going and the future of the company. The brilliant way they shot this, you see them splitting off just a little bit. Oh, wait. Wrong button there. See, and there's the electric Recon going its own way, kind of its own path. And hey, we can do it all. And there's the Recon with the doors off once again.
So what size is the Recon?
It's about the Bronco size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bronco Sport or full size?
Full size.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a little bit more narrow.
Strong.
It does look Bronco Sport size to me.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's a little more narrow. I think it's got that. Remember the Ford? What was the Ford Flex? That had that. It was really kind of like
long.
the Element looking thing, but it was just way longer.
Yeah, it's just a box.
Yeah, I think that's got the same issue.
Do you know the president of our ball club has that, and she has had like 3 of them because she absolutely loves it, and she has to keep buying used because they don't make them anymore.
Oh no, I love the Flex.
Yeah.
But I can't, like, every time I see one of those, I'm like, I don't understand it. But the people that have them love them.
You can get the 3.5, I believe, in it.
Yeah, because didn't Luke have one? Luke with Lifestyle Off-Road had one, and he was like, this thing's a sleeper.
He was whipping people
like,
on the
you don't
drag
understand.
strip with it.
Like it just takes people.
But here's kind of, the start of the ad was talking about kind of where they came from, the World War II stuff, gave a little bit of like, okay, here's where we're at. And basically the ad's ending up like this. Here's the future.
So essentially we all came from the same place, but we can all find our own path, whatever that looks like.
And then it shows
right here,
look at the key fob right here. They had a couple spots that was really impressive to me about
placement.
Why, I don't know why it was important for the key fob to be right here, especially, but it was to me. I guess it says, hey, I'm about to go. There's your 4xe bump. Clearly they're not, this was the only time you didn't, the 392 was the only fully gassed one you saw. And now it's back to this. And there's your little home charger there. And it shows the dog getting in this thing. And
it's going to be really uncomfortable.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's the first thing I think of when I think of that. Like,
her ass already hurts.
Right. That's exactly. Dude, I have such trauma response from us driving back from Michigan in our Gladiator that time. Like literally, we were like an hour and a half into our like 9-hour drive, and our butts were already hurting, and we were stealing pillows from our kid in the back seat to make it home.
I will say though, if you think about it, we had a lot of seat time.
We did have a lot of seat time, but still.
Yeah, I think they missed out. This should have been great for the Millennium Falcon. I think they missed out here.
Oh yeah.
But or had the necklace on the dog say Chewy.
Maybe it did, and they just didn't see it.
Maybe.
But that would have had to be cleared by Lucas people.
No, you could spell it differently. It'd been fine.
I mean, Chewy is Chewy like.
There's
the website. Say Chewy
for dog toys.
Oh, Chewy, but dog toys.
Right.
But then it was like they had to pay them. So there's those weird things.
A friend of mine adopted a dog last week and named it Chewy.
Oh,
I'm gonna send you a picture later. It's like the ugliest little adorable dog ever. And I was like, oh yeah, Chewy is the best name.
Chewy is the best.
But so that was kind of the ad wrapped up to me. I thought this was the best ad we saw the whole night.
Oh, I would agree.
I mean, I thought it was great.
Well, Jeep paid a pretty penny for it. So let's be honest. Like they sponsored the halftime show.
No, they did not sponsor the halftime show.
No, that was my bad. It was I think it was like the pre-show. There was something else that was like brought to you by Jeep.
There was something else that they sponsored. So they paid a pretty penny last night. So they did the Ram commercial. They did this Jeep commercial. They paid a pretty penny for some other sponsorship.
I think I read that Ram and Jeep were the only 2 automotive commercials that were on. Like,
well, a lot of companies, weird time. There's a lot of mid-cycle stuff going on with a lot of vehicles right now. So
yeah, but I mean, my thought we were talking about it last year sometime, a couple months ago, maybe before SEMA, and it ended up being different. Like, wasn't Jeep like pulling out of a lot of the big advertising, like some of the auto shows and stuff like that? But like, this is where they're spending money.
Yeah, part of the last leadership, they were like, "Oh, we can't afford to do all this stuff, and we can't do this stuff." And you're like, "Yeah, can get forgotten about real quick,
right?"
Especially at the auto show.
a couple $1 million per 30 seconds, plus actually like creating the commercial. And God only knows how much it cost him to like be on the Super Bowl.
Harrison Ford had to cost a good penny.
Yeah, he's not cheap.
Yeah, and he's not quiet about it either. He was on a late night show a couple years ago, and they asked him about doing Indiana Jones again, and he was like, "Well, they paid me." Like,
yeah,
like, fair enough.
I mean, he knows his worth. We're just gonna say, and I have to say, he's good in Apple TV show Shrinking, so he's good there.
1923.
He's good in 1923.
But he's the same character anymore. He's
well,
the
but
gruff, like 1883 is perfect, or 1923 is perfect for him.
He's nicer in that, though.
That's just Harrison Ford being Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but I think he's nicer
like
in
Tom Cruise. Like
Tom
Cruise is the same in every movie.
Or what was the dude from Yellowstone?
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Kevin Costner is just Kevin Costner. He did in Yellowstone a gruffly voice, but like
he was in a commercial last night too.
He was a Yellowstone commercial.
Yeah, a Yellowstone commercial.
Not for the TV show though.
Yellowstone. It was a Yellowstone adventure show, like Yellowstone to something. So like,
there's like a
trekking somewhere,
which is funny because like Harrison Ford actually has lived in Montana for a long time, and
well, that probably explains his gruffness. If you live in the middle of nowhere and don't have to deal with people, why do you think I'm so nasty? Because I work from home.
What was his wife's name?
Right? I live in the middle of nowhere. Don't have to deal with people.
Right.
What's his wife? Calista Farquhar or whatever's his wife?
I don't know. Is it
the girl from that Ally McBeal show or whatever?
Yeah. Are they still together? I can't keep track.
I don't know. Yeah. Is that his wife?
That's probably why he's grumpy all the time, because once she married him, she never acted again. So he's like, I gotta get this woman out of this house, man. One of us is getting out of the house.
Shit.
She decided she likes it here. Damn it.
Yeah. It was a nice touch too at the end of the commercial where he says something about, even my name's Ford, Ford. Mm-hmm. I thought that was fun.
But it says there's only one. So okay. So we can be in this together. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Let's be bros. We can find our own trails. But yet there's only one.
That's right.
I mean, they did turn the name of their vehicle into a verb. Like
could you imagine if they forced him to have to ride a duck or something in this commercial? That would have been hilarious.
You'd probably have to pay him an extra amount of money. So
for the memes, it'd been great.
So Jess and Dave already know about this, but like in our local group, our Murfreesboro group, there was this woman who posted in our group today about getting in a car accident at the local school because I know way too much about this accident and I wasn't even there because this lady is broadcasting what happened like in depth. So
play-by-play.
It went from 3 lanes to 2 lanes at the school. And when they merged into the 1 lane, they both thought that they were merging into the same lane and everything was fine until the Jeep backed up and ripped her bumper off of her Nissan. I saw pictures. It is not a Jeep. It is a Bronco. And I'm going to need people to understand what it is. And then Jess goes, I wonder how that whole comment section worked. I said, because nobody knows what a Bronco is. It didn't do anything. But
the best part is like the picture in the post was just the door handles. And Kelly's like, that's a Bronco. I'm like, yeah, it is.
So it was the handles for me. And it was the fender flares. And then I was like, maybe it's not. So I went and looked at some more pictures and I was like, oh no, this is the same crease down the side of a Bronco. And yeah, no, it is not a Jeep. Like, people.
That was Bronco Talk presented by Kelly.
I'm just saying, sorry.
Grandma Bronco over here.
I'm just saying it was frustrating because that's the thing that stands out to me, not the fact that this lady's broadcasting her accident across all of Murfreesboro. But it's the fact that she called it a Jeep.
Please,
just saying.
Please tell us more.
Sure.
Can we spend 45 minutes of this?
It wasn't a Jeep.
There's only one. Of course it's not.
Right.
There's just one Jeep, and that's it.
One Jeep, 47 models.
That's it.
Right. And then if you add the X to it, it's another $1,000. That's something Jeep's they're gonna have to slim that line up and just trim prices. Bronco too.
Because if you're gonna encourage people to go
that
to the G
segment
line.
is in trouble right now. and it's a segment we all love. But to be honest, if interest rates don't get back down into the 3, 4, 5s, I know YouTube Car Sputters Guide said they're everywhere on dealer lots. Yeah, it's because who wants to pay $60,000 plus a 7 interest rate?
Well, hell, if you can,
besides us.
Well, right.
We're stupid.
Don't forget, I bought a brand new Bronco 3 weeks ago.
That's true. Well, and it's funny because we bought our Braptor and then everybody started dropping like the prices like crazy. Like, what did I show you yesterday?
Don't pick on Laura here.
I'm not. No, I'm not at all. I'm not at all.
No, I've seen it too.
I'm just saying. I saw an ad yesterday for $25,000 off a brand new Braptor.
They're 24s.
But still, it's still got a 36,000 mile warranty.
But because they've been overpriced in nothing. Ours was 93 retail. That's ours is not a 93,000. And I'll be honest, as a Bronco guy, that is not a $93,000.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though. No, but that's my point.
It's a $75,000 vehicle, right? Maybe. But the problem is now, we've talked about this in the past. Dealers were getting $30K over on them, and Ford was like, "We got to make their money." Do it. Mm-hmm. And now, and I said this 2 years ago, it was going to bite them in the ass. Eventually, it's going to kill. Like for ours, you think about ours. If we were to book value traded in now, if they're getting $75,000,
we're not going to talk about it.
No, but we have to have this conversation.
I don't want to have this conversation right now.
Too soon. Too soon.
No, but in reality, suddenly now ours is a $65,000 Raptor.
Let's not.
I'm just being honest.
As am I.
It's not going anywhere, clearly. But if interest rates could come down a couple more points, I would appreciate it so we could refinance that damn thing.
That would be nice.
So I could free up for if there is a new Wrangler coming out in a couple of years, we'd like to we'll have to buy one. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It'll be his and hers out here. Just it'll happen. We have to buy new cars occasionally.
I already have 2 cars.
Yeah, who are you to say? We're a couple and we only have 1 car. You've got 2 cars.
Trust me,
you both have 2 cars. You have 4 cars in your driveway for 2 people.
I know, because it's kind of embarrassing when we both have to be at 2 different places at the same time, and I have to be like, I messaged a friend of mine from the board.
Man.
I messaged a friend of mine from the board, and I was like, "Hey, are you going to the board meeting? Could you by chance take me? Because we make terrible adult decisions, and we have one really expensive vehicle in the driveway." And we overcommitted ourselves to things. So
see, like we have 4 median expensive vehicles in the driveway.
Well, hell, at one time we had 3. So we had a $57,000 Mustang.
Yeah.
Our $54,000 retail Bronco, and then we had our $58,000 Bronco or Ranger Raptor. You're like, I had $150,000 plus in car payment
in the
driveway for 2 people,
and now we at least cut it in like almost half.
2. Yeah, we're about there. And Mark Bronco's paid off, so it's just me. I have all the car payments.
Well,
you're the trouble problem.
You're the
problem child.
I mean, I pay my bill. The funny part is like I have my Explorer, right? Like I have my 21 Explorer that I traded my 13 Explorer in for because the Bronco was never coming. Like I was like, I need a new car. Forget it. I need to get a new car. So I got my Explorer, and then 4.5 months later, I got an email that said, "Your Bronco is built," and I was like, "Shit." But I was able to figure that out. The good part is like the Explorer has come in handy for like a handful of things. Like I don't have to drive to work anymore because I work fully remote, but it's a great grocery getter. I can fit 7 people in there. Like it's awesome. So we've talked over and over and over again about getting rid of the Explorer because I don't really need it, but like it kind of works out for us. It's good to like now it's the old car, right? My 21 Explorer is the old car. So we take that into the city because they're like, "Oh, we're going to the city. We'll take the shitty car."
Wow.
And then we're like, "Who are we? Like, we're not these people.
Who are these people?"
Jess, what are the purses you like?
All of them. I mean, Kate Spade is really my go-to.
Yeah.
But
okay, bougie.
I bought a Steve Madden yesterday, at Marshall's, by the way.
Wow.
It was $20.
Well,
It
it's funny.
matches my car.
So it's funny. We had a friend of ours that she got really into purses. And we actually went to Ross of all places.
This one would like to be
Oh
in
my God,
person, but she can't commit.
It's the way to do it.
So funny thing is we were at Ross's and I saw this purse and I was like, that is totally our friend. Like totally. He and I both were like, that is totally her. Like you need to send a picture to her right now and like show her. And it was still like $75 or something at Ross, but it was like Michael Kors or something. I don't remember what it was, but I took a picture of it and I sent it to her. She's like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. She's like, could you buy it? And then I'll like pay you for it. And I was like, absolutely. Like you got to take advantage of those deals when you can. But it was like a $300 purse that she got for like $75 or something
What is the
at
purse you
Ross.
have right now?
The one I have right now?
Yeah.
My satchel that you say is too.
No. Oh God.
My
no,
Lulu that's too overflowed. I've been told.
Fucking fanny packs.
She knows.
The poor bastard is like made for a credit card, and that's about it.
It has my necessities in it to live life.
Then you need a big purse.
Like,
No,
it holds so much stuff.
Oh
It
yeah.
does.
There's room for all kinds of activities with this thing.
I bought one for our 15-year-old
it's made
daughter for
for-
Christmas.
It's made for girls that are 21 that need to hold a
let me be 43 and let me have my stuff.
It needs to hold a condom in their debit card. That's
Whoa.
about the size of this thing.
Whoa,
And
sir.
that's the intent of this.
Whoa,
but no,
sir.
In case
Kelly,
we
the poor
weren't
thing,
sure,
I see it, and it's vibrating
Gosh.
on our
It is
countertop.
not.
stop
There's
it.
just so much crap in it.
Who's
Leave her
grateful
alone.
for my Aleve and the Pepto and the ibuprofen?
But-
and
Yeah,
all
you're
the
happy
things?
when she's got all that stuff for you.
But I bought her an expensive purse, is my point.
He did. He bought me a coach. He's bought me a couple of coaches.
Aw.
But I don't go anywhere. So if I go,
She wants the nice thing, but
the
then
Lulu holds my car keys at all times. It has my driver's license at all times. It has all of the 43 somethings that you need things. And guess what?
43.
And the 10% off for the Mexican restaurant that we didn't have the other night because I'd unpacked it for us to go to Chicago. Could have saved us $9. So I'm just saying.
well, there goes the economy.
Yes,
Well,
Marital Nation.
For the
We just
record, not
helped
only
the
did I
Hispanic economy there
like-
with the extra $9.
the purse I bought yesterday, Steve Madden, kind of fancy, not really, but at Marshall's, right? So it's $20. The
Yeah.
important part is it's kind of sporty. So
Sporty.
similar to the Lulu, right? Crossbody, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's cactus gray, like my new Bronco.
Aw, look at you.
Mark about died. He's like, are you kidding me? Is this happening? I'm like, this is happening.
Christ,
On top of
personation
that,
over
I
here.
don't know if anybody knows. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I'm gonna be like 400 years old, so I can do
Shut
whatever
up.
I want.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Mr. President.
This is Jess.
Just.
Just.
Jess.
All right. Anyway, focus.
Charlie Dude
So,
5000 says,
I
thought
don't
this
even
was a
know where the
famous
hell
show.
we were going with this purse talk crap, but
I don't know.
seriously, Kelly's purse is vibrating right now. I guarantee you,
It
because
is
it's
not.
the seams are about to bust.
It zips just fine.
All right, let's circle back to the commercials because, like, the Ram commercial was also really good. Like, I thought it was good.
Jay did not like it.
Let me pull that.
Really? Like, they showed the RHO, and like, part of it was like, why didn't they just keep calling it a TRX? Because, like,
It really is just a TRX
kind of
with a different engine in it.
I like it.
Like
Oh,
it really
I-
is. Like
I also
literally,
painted my nails to match my car.
Party. Yeah, like literally, we did the press event at the state fair, the Texas State Fair for the RHO, and it literally is. They're essentially they were selling it as, hey, this is still the TRX. It's just a little
Nah.
different.
Yeah, I don't think they sold it as
They
that.
did too. They said it's
But like, this part was weird.
Well, the whole
But, like,
this whole
the cars
and I'm
were
not gonna play music or the ad because I'll get copyright. Damn it! I
You
get
did it, you
copyright
touched it.
struck. But here, I guess this is the it dude of the day, right? What's his name?
I don't even
He
know.
was from Twisters or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
He
I
was-
did watch the Twister movie.
Yeah. I saw it in the
Yeah,
theater.
I don't know what his name is.
But he's the it guy of right now. But it's a Hansel and Gretel thing, and
No, really?
but this is
But they're so pretty.
Right?
Don't get me wrong. I like the trucks.
I'm not mad about it at all. All three of those could be in my driveway and I'd be okay with it. Like, so that's the funny thing. Jess and I've talked about this. You know, we all, like, girls have their, like, oh man, he's hot. But like, I'm like, damn, those are hot. Like, those are pretty cars. Those make my heart go pitter patter. Like, why am I weird like this? Why am I a weird girl? Not that guy. No, not in that shot right there. Mm-mm.
Show me the grills again.
Exactly. Show me the grills. Show me the seats. Like, do they? Nope, I'm not going there.
Do they vibrate? Is that what you're about to say? Are you? Show me that buzz.
I was gonna say, are they massaging?
Her face is totally so fucking red right now. It's hilarious.
Oh no, we've officially gone off the rails.
Right?
Ram has the massaging feature.
Oh, I bet that's what they call it.
Where do you think we fell in love with it? In the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Summit Edition?
Don't put weed in this conversation right now.
Too, because you said they were fabulous.
Well,
God,
I don't think how you're talking.
I wasn't saying it was like that.
Oh my goodness, I can't even.
Anyways, I guess back to the.
His name's Glenn Powell, apparently, featuring Glenn Powell. See.
And he punches dragons.
Okay,
now, that's kind of funny right here.
Okay, here's what I think is really funny. If you read the bottom of the screen, it's actually really funny in all the little like caveats that they put there. This is a fantastical world, or what does it say? Fantastical world, and does not portray real world. Like, really?
Fantastical.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Truck is not flame retardant.
Like I have to worry about freaking dragons. What are we, Game of Thrones?
I mean,
now,
maybe they're trying to tell us something. Maybe they know something.
Oh my God.
Trump.
Rain of Fire. If we're gonna watch dragon movies, we're watching Rain of Fire.
Best dragon movie ever, man.
Never seen it.
I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Never seen it.
Yeah, you have.
What?
It's got Batman dude. What's his name?
Christian Bale
and a guy from Texas. Austin, Texas guy. All right.
Yeah, that one.
Matthew McConaughey, who was fabulous on the Super Bowl, by the way. He had 2 commercials yesterday.
All you gotta do is just go punch one of these dragons. Get really good.
That Texas guy.
Oh.
You guys know. You know what I was talking about.
Not until you said, all right. Okay, pause. Always tow within vehicle capacity. Okay, so how
many dragons does this bastard tow?
Right? Only hauls one dragon at a time.
Just one dragon. Nothing more.
See, you guys were giving it shit. This Ram commercial is great.
Properly secure cargo too. They're not securing because the tail and the wings.
How would you have for this had to go through legal? And legal's like, are you fucking kidding me right now with this? Yes, post whatever you want. I don't care. I'm going home.
Okay, keep going.
Now that was kind of funny. Okay,
he's eating a leg. That's
but he's not a long-haired, blonde-haired guy.
Well, no, he's not sexy as a blonde.
No, he's a sexy woodsy guy.
Pre-production model shown. No, really?
Wait, what does it say?
Fake tree. Oh yeah, this one cracked me up yesterday. I told Dave, I was like, they really just said fake tree. No trees were harmed in the making of this ad.
See,
really?
It's funny.
How do they know? Maybe somebody backed over a little limb, a little tree when they were going there.
Professional driver on closed course. Oh wait, this is pause. This one makes me laugh. Dramatization. Even professional drivers cannot jump an active volcano. Do not attempt.
I love it. I mean, next weekend we're gonna jump some active volcanoes, though.
We are. That's on the to-do list to talk about tonight.
Well, here's the thing. Look at the angle of the truck right there. He would have it did not. No, it wouldn't have came in like that.
Maybe. That would be my face.
I'm good to know that he doesn't have any cavities.
Wait, does that guy have a booger?
Oh, he might. He might have a booger.
Or his septum's weird.
Oh, whew. All right. Thank you. I got my ab workout in this evening.
Same.
But the damn bears are pissed off now.
Because they weren't included in the commercial.
They're not showing the trucks
bears
enough.
Do not actually drive vehicles or something.
It should have
something stupid.
Absolutely.
Right here. Or if you're reading this and you think bears can consult, your user guide.
Oh, pause. Go back.
Wait. Did you say pause with a bear? Oh my God.
Okay, play.
Oh my God, we're off the rails.
This commercial is set in a fantastical world. It does not portray real world situations.
I'm going to call BS on that because I've been in a pickup truck with a brown bear in the middle of the road.
I have also. Her name was Sydney.
No, mine was an actual bear.
Oh, not in your truck.
I told you the story. Me and
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. I didn't believe it because you never got pictures.
I'm sorry. The little bastard stood up and ran before I could.
I'm just saying.
Get my phone out.
Just saying.
That is kind of funny. All their faces there. But this did not sell me on Ram trucks at all.
All three of those could be in my driveway. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, the picture with them all together.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, it didn't
Pretty
have,
epic.
it didn't have the, I didn't feel like that connected me to that brand like the Jeep ad did.
See, it doesn't always have to like connect. It can be funny and be like, hey, don't forget we're still
But there was
here.
the Anheuser-Busch ad yesterday.
We've got these 3 amazing bears. Like,
they
actually disappointed in the Anheuser-Busch ad.
I was as well.
But
it was cute. I get it.
Back, man.
Baby Clydesdale, whatevs. But like, if we're busting out the Clydesdales, I want to see like big, tough Clydesdale shit.
Thank you. I did the same thing. I was like,
have you ever picked up a thing of beer like that? A keg of beer?
I was like,
heavy.
this is
that
the Clydesdale commercial we've been waiting for. No.
Right. Like
Not
it needed
okay.
more fantasticalness.
Agreed. More fantastical fiction.
How many horses do you know pushing a barrel of beer anywhere?
Bro, it didn't have a disclaimer at the bottom.
Okay.
So I was entertained as well. With the Ram commercial.
I thought it was a good, it was good. It was a good ad, but that one wasn't
good.
like.
No, you said you hated it.
I didn't hate it. I'm saying it was a
weird.
good, fun ad, but you're not going to see, that's not going to be what, the frogs, Budweiser frogs or whatever.
Oh, the frogs.
Or, you remember the, a couple years ago when the Gladiator first came out and there was the,
no.
What's the Bill Murray movie where he keeps smashing the clock?
Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day, and it shows him driving a Gladiator, and he's like, "Don't drive angry," and you see a little groundhog driving it.
I don't remember that commercial.
Me neither.
It stood out to you. It didn't stand out to us.
I'm a dude, man. It's a dude thing.
Dude, you've got 2 chicks on here that are like more excited about the trucks on the commercial than the hot dude in the commercial.
I can't help I'm the hot dude in this ad, but it is what it is.
I love you, but we weren't talking about you.
Damn it.
Next.
Well, so wrapping up Super Bowl ads.
Yeah,
they were. It was a week. Everything about this Super Bowl kind of sucked to me. I didn't want Kansas City to win. I was happy with that outcome, but the halftime show. I'm not going to pick on it because that's not. You do realize at some point, like, okay, generationally, this is not for me anymore, which is fine. I don't.
We aged out.
Yeah, but that halftime.
We didn't age out in Snoop Dogg a couple years ago. I'm just saying.
Well, but that was.
Usher dance party last year. I'm just saying.
I am.
It was all right last year.
Snoop Dogg one was really great.
Snoop Dogg was my year.
But
it's true.
This one I couldn't understand a word he was saying, which is fine. I know this music because the kid that used to work for me was really into Kendrick Lamar or whatever his name is. But I want my halftime shows to be fun. And that one wasn't fun. It was just like maybe there was a point. I know there was the Drake diss, whatever. There was the whole thing of the black guys being the American flag. I've read a lot today about how
there's been a lot of symbolism coming from that. But I will say that like this is coming from a person that like loves 90s rap, like loves all the like I am not an anti-rap person. I just didn't hear like, and I posted this on actually like the head coach of our daughter's travel softball organization because she's very vocal about a lot of things. And she actually posted, she was like, if you didn't understand the halftime show, then you need culture. And I responded to it and I was like, this coming from a 90s generation of rap and music, like I appreciate it, but I could not hear the words that he was saying as he was singing through it. That I felt like, so I couldn't relate. So like, if I can't hear the music, like if I can't understand it or I can't follow along, I can't relate. And therefore I can't get emotionally involved in what's actually happening on the screen. So I don't know if it was our connection, our sound, our ears, because we've been sick for a week.
This artist is a very minor sounding music. That's every song he does is in that same sort of beat, that beats per minute. Like that's his thing, which is fine. But once again, I feel like, for one, I thought the show, like Tom Brady and all of it, was just awful. There was no, about the whole show, there was nothing like, oh, cool, this is fun.
We kind of talked about this yesterday too, is like even the score at the bottom,
yeah,
we felt like it was something like a high school graphic designer did.
It was like super minimalist. We noted the same thing. And Tom Brady is, cutie patooties, that boy is like, I don't know if he's ready to do the play-by-play. Like, I felt like, we all joked about it last night. There was a lot of times where he's like, and football, and I'm saying words. I'm like,
in football and quarterback, and I'll say all the magic words that you're supposed to say on the Super Bowl and the end zone
stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, like I do, because we've been trained for halftime shows have been exciting. Prince to me was probably by far the best ever.
Well, you can't hold up to Prince.
Well, no, but they're fun, and generally they've here the past few years have been sort of throwbacks to a certain generation. For one, I don't think this generation's ready for that throwback, because this is the music of the time. Once again, it doesn't bother me. I'm not mad about it, but I didn't. Well, I know some people, if you read the socials, man, they're just all pissy about it. Yeah. I like you said, I couldn't understand what he was saying. They showed people at the Super Bowl. They've showed people videoing it. People were just sitting there. It's a halftime show. It's not a, like, if I want to be miserable, I'll just go hide in a closet. That's kind of what I felt from that. It didn't make me go, oh man, I can't wait to get my next beer in and for the next half of the game. It just kind of made me go,
yeah.
Well,
fuck, is this over?
But after reading today, there was a lot of symbolism to it. But
probably.
Anyway, go, Jess. Sorry.
There was a lot in there, and I think it missed, like Dave, you kind of mentioned, is that show aspect, right? Like I was kind of waiting, like the camera panned, and I was like, oh, who's going to be a special surprise guest or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. And like Sam Jackson,
Serena Williams.
Cool. I get it. Yeah. I understand. But like, I was waiting for more, I guess.
But it was so inside baseball. So a lot of the stuff was talking about him, his beef with Drake. And that's why Serena Williams was there, whatever, I forget what the dance she was doing, they called it. And they were like, can you believe she did this? And I was like, well, it's a fucking dance. I mean, she was just shaking. I don't know that there was symbolism to me for that. But it was so inside baseball with her being there, because she used to be Drake's boyfriend. And he has this big beef in one of the songs, A minor. I'll let it go to that, what you think of it. But they had a rap battle going on between each other. And I guess he settled it with that rap called A minor. Once again, leave it there. And with his girlfriend being there, ex-girlfriend Serena Williams, I'm like, that's so inside baseball that I don't need to break out my Webster's dictionary or the encyclopedia to figure out the halftime show. I just want to be entertained and get excited for the second half of the football game, because I'm there to watch football. I'm there to watch football. The ads are secondary to me. Ads are probably more primary for you. Football is very secondary. Was it a cool performance? Sure, man. All the camera work and stuff that I saw was great.
Yeah, the choreography was super cool.
So I think I didn't spend a ton of time on socials but there was one interpretation of it where it kind of talked about it looking like a PlayStation controller, because then at the end it's like game over and like the X and the O and the, like,
I definitely saw that at the beginning.
And so there was like that part of it, like playing the game, and like there was some political play on word or play on it in the background and stuff like that is what I had heard from it. And so it's way above my head from that point. Like I wasn't drinking last night in the Super Bowl, but usually I would be, and it would have gone way over my head. So if it hit those people that it needed to hit, fabulous, but it did not get me until after the fact. And go ahead, Jess, sorry.
Well, there was, visually I was kind of looking at it. I'm like, I feel like this is recognizable. And like there was like I don't know if you've watched that Squid Game show.
Yes, that was supposedly part of it too.
Right. And that was kind of like the symbolism there. The other thing, side note, I don't know if anybody noticed the font they were using for the Super Bowl. Can we talk about it real quick?
Well, we're going to.
Big blow up letters and all different sizes and stuff. And Kelly, you had to have felt this. I was like, where's this font from? It took me a hot minute to figure it out. It's New Kids on the Block.
Oh, dude.
KOTB font back in the day.
That would explain
I literally did like my high school girl group. There's 7 of us. We still talk. We've been friends for 30 some odd years. And I was like, anybody recognize this? And like, a couple of them like responded with like kids.
Shh, you're gonna get copyright struck.
Yeah,
that's the right stuff.
But Dave, you're right. That was kind of the premise. People were saying like, this is the feel we want to be.
Yeah. Nothing. Once again, I'm not bitching about the artist. I've listened to stuff. I like it. It's not. I'm not. It's not for me. Which, once again, to kind of wrap this up, I get. There's a time when you learn real quick, and as a musician, I've learned this. It's done for me. Like, I'm stuck now in the 90s. Like, if you ever catch me, she knows. I'm listening to Alt Nation or whatever on Sirius. Like,
Mosaic is my favorite.
But so there is a new generation, and this was for it. I just felt like it just wasn't a happy tone. It was that very minor sounding music, very droney, and it just wasn't. It didn't pump me up like, oh hell, like when we saw the Bengals Super Bowl and they had
hell yeah, the whole world, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it was a hell of a game, and after that halftime show, I was like, shit, man. Like,
we're all throwing hips out dancing at the halftime show.
Her and other Kelly are in my living room. They're dancing, having fun,
shaking our butts.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was like,
and our kids are looking at us like, what the hell is going on? This is what we were like 20 years ago.
Our daughter said last night when she came out after that, and her and friends, she was like, even my friends didn't get this. So, and once again, I know it's old man, get off my lawn. Not for me, not from, the intent was not for us really.
Right.
But I just want more happy in my Super Bowl.
Now you're starting to sound like Sydney calling me out for being happy all the time.
But the game itself was like, it was, you like the end of the game, usually they do the confetti and stuff. It just wasn't a lot of that either. I was just like,
it's kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I was just like, well, cool.
But I will say, I mean, I really would have liked.
You're on Sports Nation.
I really would have liked to shut out.
Right.
We didn't get a shutout.
They didn't shout us out?
Shut out.
Oh.
But,
shout out?
So it's funny because I never put into.
We all get $8 million.
Right. Smash that like button, guys. We're going to Super Bowl.
$8 million in memberships. So if you want to donate, you donate memberships, not super chats or anything. You just, donate some memberships.
Holy crap.
Anyhow.
Go ahead, Kelly. Sorry.
Anyhow.
Back in my day.
But I don't even know what I was going to say now. You made me lose it.
Well, that was our Super Bowl wrap-up show.
Oh. No.
Christ. So
no. I got it. It'll just be a second.
What?
So
It'll be just a second, guys. It's coming to me.
I never.
Wait.
Shh, you're going to make me lose it again.
Don't lose it.
I never buy, I never put in to Super Bowl squares or anything like that.
God.
I never do. Never.
This was hilarious, Jess.
So
I
did
gambler over here.
I did yesterday because one of the teams in our organization was still looking for squares to be sold right before the game. And I was like, man, I'll just go, I'll buy a square. So I bought a square and my numbers were had to end in 3
and 1 or something, right?
3 and 9.
9.
So I needed the Eagles to end in 3, and I needed the Chiefs to end in 9.
Every goddamn score, she was like, so what would it take to get them to 3? Or what would it take to get them to 9?
Okay, what do I need for them to get to 3? Or what do I need for them to get to 9?
You're doing like football math. You're like, okay, I need 2 field goals and 1 touchdown and 6 extra points.
Yes, and at a certain point, I think it was in the second quarter, I was actually at almost there at the number for Honest Smith. One of our viewers had bought a square on Sydney's softball squares. And I was like, okay, for Honest to get money, we need it to hold right here. like right here. And then the quarter ended and it didn't end at that number. Like, unfortunately, he missed out. But like, I was literally doing football math, like going, okay, I need the Chiefs to get to 9. Dave's like, I really want a shutout. I was like, but I want him to get to 9 so that I can win $200.
She goes, don't you want to win $200? I said, no, I would rather, like, I want this.
It's like, not for the cost of this.
I want them to be humiliated.
So guess what didn't happen? We didn't win $200, and we also did not get a shutout.
Oh, tough question here. So Atomic Snowflow says 392 or Bronco Raptor. Jess, and I know you're Ford loyal, but V8 versus twin turbo V6. Where are you leaning?
I'm gonna go with the Raptor. Yeah. Like, I mean, my first car was a V8. It was a 1978 Ford LTD.
Making 110 horsepower.
I got 6 miles to the gallon.
We were looking at gas mileage back then, let's be honest.
Yeah, but now that, like, you know, I have a lot of other bills besides just putting gas in my car. I don't know. I don't need 8 Vs. Like,
you probably still have to put premium in it anyway. So
I know, right? That's what holds me back from kind of leveling up in cars.
392 or Raptor?
I don't know. That's a tough one because
it is a tough one because we've driven both.
We
love both.
And I literally have revved the 392 in neutral, rolling back into the press fleet.
And we didn't get to drive the one last year. We just ran out of time.
I'm gonna sound biased, but I have to say the Raptor because it's just so much. It's overall comfortable.
What's up, Matt?
And it's overall fun.
I'm gonna say 392. Only because it's a very limited. Like Raptor's not going anywhere now.
That's true.
392, even though they're in the final version.
Are they though?
Well, I really do think that V8s are gone, really, and I know Stellantis will bring something some point, but I think a true, honest horsepower vehicle like that's gone. And if you could find one low mileage, 30,000 miles that you want to drive on a weekend, or that's how you approach this vehicle.
Let's be honest, I wouldn't drive it just on the weekend.
I'm just, you know, I would lean 392.
Like that.
They do.
They start. The weekend car is like Friday through Sunday, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, it's Thursday, it's close enough.
Yeah,
and then you're like, well, you know, before you know it, it's like Tuesday afternoon, and you're like, forget it, I'm just driving.
I'm not driving very far. It's
fine. But I will say this about both of them. The interiors of both of them do not feel special enough for what they cost.
No.
We've got a 5 good, 5 bad coming on our Raptor that you're going to want to watch because we do tear it apart just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So just saying.
Not too bad.
I'll be honest, either one is a fun vehicle, and to lean to the style, I'm going to lean just because the rumblies and the limited edition nature of that to the 392. Drivability, Bronco all day.
See, and that's where my tear is. That's where I'm torn between the two because I like the rumblies of the 392 because there's nothing like a V8. Yeah. Like there really just isn't. Like there's nothing like the rumble of the V8. But at the end of the day, the Bronco, I think, comparatively to the 392, is more plush on the interior comparatively to a Badlands Bronco versus a Raptor. I think the step up from the Badlands to a Raptor, there's a big step up in the interior from that perspective, from a comfort perspective, because you've got more racy seats, more comfortable, comfortable suspension. But the 392, you're still kind of the same interior as you would get in a Rubicon or that type of thing.
It's not special.
It's not really that special from a suspension perspective, or it feels like it doesn't feel like there.
They did the 25th or 20th anniversary Rubicon version with the red seats and stuff. That was kind of fun. We saw it at Chicago Auto Show last year.
But to me, there's not enough. There's not enough difference to offset the rumblies over the comfort.
Yeah. But as he's saying, the deals on the Raptors right now, that 100%, if you could get a Raptor in the 70s versus you're not going to get a 392 at that deal.
Oh, no, not at all. You're not going to touch it.
And if you just want to go have fun, if you live in the Southwest region where you can just go take that thing out in the desert and just beat the piss out of it
and
all day long.
Get the tune.
Yeah.
Get the tune.
Yes. And like Kelly said, $800, get the tune. Makes a hell of a difference just in shifting alone. So that's where
he was playing with it the other day. The paddle shifters on the way home from picking up Sydney from school, of all places.
I'm not commenting there. So I hinted about this last week. Of course, last week was just a solo show. Get it? On Solo? Dave Solo?
Nobody cares.
But I don't know if anybody paid attention to it or not. But Kelly, what did we do here? You've been working your ass off trying to get something going for us.
I have. So I actually worked on the redesign for the website. It is still a work in progress, so be patient with us. We're still kind of figuring out the new platform with it, but we did a full redesign on the website. So you can actually see where we are working on kind of bringing you the news that's kind of going on in our lives in article form. So that's a little different than what you've kind of experienced from us in the past. Historically, you would see Dave would put a little Patreon out there with some articles, which he'll still do. But this is more for everybody to kind of check out the website. But this is also a home landing page for all of our brands that are kind of under us at this point. So as you can see, you've got All Terrain Nation, you've got ATN Off-Road. Those will take you straight to the YouTube channel for those two. Merchandise will take you straight to our merch site that has, or at least it should. I guess you're clicking on it and well, that's fabulous that it can't load it. So it works.
It's user error. Dave screwed it up.
There it goes. Okay, so it was actually user error. So that'll take you to our Teespring.
I just pushed a button, man.
That'll take you to our Teespring, which with Teespring, you can actually just order straight from them and it's shipped straight to you. So you don't have any delays from Kelly on shipping that way. It's all straight from there. And then just a quick, this is ever evolving. So you'll see more.
You're going to see articles, stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll see some more meat and potatoes as the time comes on as well. Of course, there's a link. Of course, there's a link to our Patreon and YouTube membership straight there. Cause I know a lot of people have asked, like, how do you do the membership? I don't ever see it. So that's how you can go quickly there. I do need to actually update and add a few of the latest videos because this does not have the most latest videos, but it does have a kind of a few things in there. And so
they'll circle through. I put an article today, which I'm not sure why it's not.
Because you clicked over.
Let's see if it comes back up. But guys, Patreon and supporting membership help pay for this. So we greatly appreciate that. We're working out some of the bugs yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to actually get the picture to load up when
I'll fix it.
I post something. IT over here will handle this, of course. We do. Jess and Mark are going to have a little bit of a hand in this as well. They've been contracted, whether they think they have or not.
We got voluntold.
Yeah.
They were voluntold.
Yeah. But do you guys? No, but I want to help voices out that have something to say, and I believe both of you actually do, especially in the off-road community. So we're gonna have, and you're gonna see people that writing articles for us. So we're gonna have to ante up and pay people to actually write for us. But we want to have not just our voices. We want people that are new to the industry as well as veterans out there. And Kelly's wants to write, but she's a little tentative about.
Why don't you call me out?
I am calling you out, purse lady, bag lady.
Shut up.
But Kelly's been a little. She's wanted to do this part of the media company for a while, but it's just a little bit. Hey, I don't want people to beat me up about this. I have the grammar of a mule. Like hee-haw, whatever. Like that's about as smart as I am.
He doesn't always know that they're there.
Yeah. Getting better.
Oh, like Jess tonight. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we have a side chat that's just production, and then of course we have a side chat that's all the fun and craziness that happens in our lives. And so in the production chat tonight, Dave goes, "Hey Jess, if you're on board," and he spelled it like a wood board of joining in tonight. And I was like, star BORED, like if you're bored. And she's like, well, I'd rather be a barrel.
I said, I'm more like a barrel.
Well, some of that BS is the spell check now will change.
Don't blame it on spell check.
I'm not saying it on that particular time. But a lot of cases, spell check, I've had it, you write it correctly, and it changes the shit to what it thinks you're saying. I'm like,
for the record,
don't use that word.
Sorry, I'm stupid, but not that dumb.
But for the record, and to put myself out there, last night when I texted when we were talking about the Jeep commercial, and I said Han Solo is a traitor.
That is true. You did spell it wrong.
I spelled it T-R-A-T-E-R. And Mark on the other end of the couch going, what is he trading? Like, what is he trading Jeeps for something? I'm like, no, like, I knew it looked weird when I said it.
I'll trade for anything.
Inflatable man.
So anyway, I corrected it to trader. T-R-A-I.
You didn't need to call yourself out, Jess. This was
did
back on Dave.
Ooh.
But no, so I love you, but full transparency, yeah. Like Dave said, like he's got a lot of really great ideas and things to talk about and stuff, and sometimes the grammar just didn't always right there.
Andy Ackerman says executive producer Andy Ackerman, by the way, he might be able to be convinced to talk about the trucking industry.
Nice.
So. But no, like seriously, that's the goal of this, and obviously we will monetize this. I know people hate that. You know, the goal is to be full-time at this, and part of this is we have to have the website. Industry people that we talk to with brands, they don't want just YouTube.
Yeah,
they want a large
they want attendance.
SEO swipe of the internets, right. And so we have to kind of do this, and but we would bookmark this, please.
Yeah,
our videos you're gonna see them there anyways. But slowly you're gonna see like maybe an article a week for a while, and then slowly we hope to once Mama Bear over here decides to throw her writing nuts out there.
I wrote an article. It just needs some love.
Didn't you write one for Patreon like 4 years ago?
It wasn't 4 years ago. It was like 2 years ago for the EV, the blackout in the EV. That needs to be moved over from the old site, because did you ever post it, or did you post it in Patreon only?
Patreon only.
Well, then it needs to be pulled over here now that Patreon's seen it.
Oh, look at it. Look at this recycling of
It was a decent article. I spent a lot of time on it. It took me like 2 weeks to write it.
I know. Christ. But the goal of this one, so to wrap the website up, the goal was to launch the website for the Chicago Auto Show. Kelly was going to have some articles from the show. And damn it, I got
the flu
sick.
Hit our house.
I got sick, and I knew I was getting sick the night before that Monday or
Tuesday.
I started getting a scratch in my throat, and I was like, nah, it's just, I was outside that day. I thought, it's just the weather. And I woke up like a Mack truck hit me Wednesday morning. I had to run to my office real quick and drop some stuff off. I came back and I was just sitting there like.
We literally got in the truck, drove to Nashville. We're at the airport, and a friend of ours. Yeah. A friend of ours said, hey, I'm not going because so-and-so's sick. And I knew he didn't feel well. And I said, well, if you're not feeling well, do we really want to get to Chicago and be stuck in a hotel and not be able to go to the auto show? Really? Because at the end of the day, if you don't feel well, you can't perform. Like that's just how it works. Because yes, this is what we love to do, but at the same point, it is still a show we're putting on when it comes to recording things and stuff like that. It's a job. And he was like, I don't know. I said, let me call the hotel, find out what our cancellation policy is. And I know Southwest, we can go ahead and cancel. I know people make fun of us for flying Southwest, but the great thing about Southwest is literally I can cancel within 30 minutes of my flight, and I have that flight credit to apply to a future date. So I'm not losing it like some of the major carriers out there. And so I called the airport, or I called the hotel, and I said, hey, what's my cancellation policy? And they said, because you didn't cancel within 72 hours, you lose one night. And I said, and I looked at him and he's like, just do it. And so we canceled our hotel right then. And then I canceled our flight, and then we drove back home. And then we got behind the widest freaking wide load we've ever seen in our lives, because it literally took up 3 lanes of the interstate the whole way past Murfreesboro from the airport too, on all things. And it was rush hour. So it was like right at 9 o'clock or something that we were driving home. And you're like, who approved this thing to drive through Nashville at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, nothing like feeling like ass and then trying to get home because you like give up on your dream trip. Like Chicago Auto Show is our kickoff of the year.
Yes.
And you guys would have saw a dozen videos by now. And it would have, January, February are sucky for the channel. because there's just not a lot of news. So that would have
just because there was big ad revenue.
I had somebody giving me shit the other day about, for one, wearing my hat in a video. I haven't worn my hat backwards in a while.
So he was wearing it forward.
And this guy was bitching about me wearing my hat. He goes, "Do you sleep in that thing too?" And I was like, Jesus Christ, because I didn't have it in the thumbnail.
He doesn't wear a hat to bed, just so we're clear.
Sir. That you know of. But the guy was like, being a dick in the comments is nothing new. He wasn't original by any means, but I was just like,
he didn't like that he was doing a build and price. He's like, well, I thought this was nothing original. And I'm like, does he realize like you're one of the first ones that ever did build and price?
Nobody was doing those.
Nobody was doing build and price, and then he started doing build and price.
Anyway, Matt Porter had a wreck.
Yeah.
Glad
Cat Squatch is back and better than ever. Luckily, I'm okay, and the Bronco wasn't totaled. I'm glad to hear you're doing okay.
Yeah. So his front driver 40 came off. His tire came off.
It's 75 miles an hour. Car axle broke and the wheel hub assembly exploded. It was a wild ride for sure. Luckily, I kept it from flipping. You're lucky it wasn't totaled then, because I've heard lesser accidents causing vehicles to total.
Insurance companies love totaling anything now.
They do.
Oh, I got a hangnail. Wait, totaled?
Right?
Oh, that was me. No, but it's in the car. Look at the nail on the ground. Jesus,
well,
man.
Good job, Matt. No flipping.
Yeah.
We're not flipping this year.
Right?
Yeah.
So Overland Expo West, Bird Dog says more money for Overland Expo West. So funny thing about Overland Expo West is that Jess and Mark and Dave will be going to Overland Expo West, but I will not be going to Overland Expo West.
Single Dave in the house. I'll be no, I'll be asleep.
Because there's this thing called parenting, right? There's this thing called parenting, and I'm gonna have the worst FOMO ever.
No, sorry, Jess. It's a different area code. Kelly can't. I'm partying my ass off, man. I'm be hungover. I'm gonna be like with all the. I'm gonna have the
all right, that's
gas
fine.
tank, the gas tank rotor packs on my back.
Jess is
full
like,
of bourbon.
Whatever you want to do, boo.
Don't. I'll film it and leave your ass in the
dirt. Totally fine. Just
it wouldn't be the first time. Trust me.
Just as long as he makes it to his room every night, I don't really care. Like,
yes, but we will be.
You can trust Mark with that.
B team in the main A will be at.
Whoa.
At Expo Overland.
So unfortunately, our daughter has like a major tournament that week, actually in Nashville, of all places. Like that, we knew stepping it up into the softball world a little bit this year, her being a freshman, that we were probably going to be taking some for the team, as it turns out. And I happen to be the one taking it for the team this year. But I'll love watching her play. So it's not really that, but it stinks I won't be able to make it out, because I've really been wanting to make it out west. We actually even talked about maybe taking Sydney out for this trip. And unfortunately, she has a tournament literally like the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that week. So it would not work for us to fly out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm very sad about it.
Yeah. I know.
I'm gonna have to wrangle these boys in all by myself, Kelly.
I know. I'm really sorry, Jess. That's the word I really feel bad about.
What Mark's gonna try to get me to buy, and then you won't be there to stop it.
I am.
He doesn't have to try. You just do it.
I'm taking the credit card.
Speaking of which, I've literally 2 months ago we reached out about press credentials. I've yet to hear anything back.
I haven't heard a thing. I didn't get like a confirmation email or anything. So
that's coming up, right? What's the date on that?
No, it's May.
May, okay.
I mean, it's kind of coming up, but
I do need to rebook Dave's flight.
Yeah.
Or book his
flight. I haven't booked the flight yet, but I booked the hotel already. I told you that. We'll circle back.
Yeah. I'll have your people call my people. Just.
Hey, I'm his people.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not going, I'm his people.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun though, being out for Arizona is an awesome place to be.
Yeah.
It's one of Kelly's favorite places.
It is one of my
It's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be awful.
Also I wanted to get into a summertime meetup.
Yeah.
We had couple weeks ago, we had somebody going, hey, would you ever think about, I think it was Patreons were talking about it. Would you ever think about doing a meetup? And I've always been like, I find meetups to be sort of ego driven. We've seen people to try that. And
I think it's subjective to the situation.
It probably is. But I'm thinking about doing something this summer. You guys definitely, I want your input on that, to whether y'all want to or not. It would probably be something like off-roading, just hanging
Somewhere
out for a weekend.
somewhat nearby here.
Yeah, in the area. But definitely want to do something like that.
Only because I'm selfish and I realize that our daughter has a lot of softball coming up.
You know, we got in 25's a year to kick in ATN off-road.
Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely interested in to see if you guys are into that, because I think it would be fun. The B team, I'm sure we'd plan it to where they could be there. Jess, generally, if you say off-roading, she's like, "When? Let's go."
Where? I'll be there.
Yeah.
But we've got Supercell coming up.
We do.
We have our own booth this year. The A and B teams will be there.
Yep.
Jess better have something modified in her vehicle,
right?
Besides the antenna.
And besides the.
So Jess, you got an antenna, right? Let's hear this story. What happened?
What about the antenna? Oh, I never told you, did I? So
no, you got a new Bronco. A lot of people know.
I got a new Bronco.
Modifying it.
Yeah. I can't stand the stock antenna on the Broncos. It drives me crazy.
Too big, huh?
So it was my first.
She said,
I'm not even listening to you. My first mod on my 22 is I put on a stubby antenna, and it was also my first mod on my 24. Interestingly enough, the antennas on the 24 are different than the other ones. Like the antenna screws onto the hood.
Just the tip?
Instead of
David.
The screw is in the hood.
Interesting.
Instead of in the previous years, the screw is in the antenna. So you just screw it out and then you screw another one in. This is different. The antenna screws off.
Wait. So
your math ain't mathing.
It's an innie or it's an outie?
It's an outie. Like the screw stays in the hood.
Oh.
And the antenna comes off.
Oh.
This is a lot of hand things going on here.
A lot of hand gestures here.
Sorry. Just trying to make sure I understand.
So I go out to the garage. I'm like, oh, I'm going to switch out my antenna. No big deal. Like, I'm not.
I got this.
Terrible. Yeah.
Mark, stay inside.
So I come in the house and I'm like pouting and mad. I'm like, I need help. So Mark comes out and I was like, I was thinking I couldn't get the screw out. Come to find out, the screw is stuck in the vehicle. Like it's in there. So poor Mark comes to help and like grabs a pair of pliers or channel locks or something. And then the screw snaps off. And he's like, I broke your new Bronco. Interestingly enough, it was actually the perfect thing that he needed to do to fit on the tiny little stubby antenna that I bought, because I was like, oh, this screw right on here now.
So it has the ability to come off.
It doesn't come off the vehicle.
No,
we ended up breaking it, but it worked out with the aftermarket tiny antenna that I bought, because I took the screw out of that and screwed it onto the top of the thing. I feel like there should be a video for this, but it's too late now.
I feel like there should too, because my
I need the
my Radka vodka is kicking in way too much.
Play by play, and you see here you get the lines.
And this and that, and there were screws, and anyway.
Interesting. There should definitely be a video for this.
Yeah. So we have put a couple things back onto the Bronco. I haven't gotten anything new yet for the 24, but part of that is because I want to like really plan the build, right? The 22, I was like, let's throw all the stuff on there. And Supercell's coming. So, we have a chat with
Nova Site about a light bar they have that I'm trying to get to. I want to showcase this light bar at Supercell.
Wait, what are you doing to my Bronco?
I need a 30-inch light bar, Dave.
That's what she said.
Don't we all, Jess? You know how many times I've said that?
No.
But yes. No, so I keep bugging it. I've reached out to my rep for this. I'm like, hey, of course they're probably going, hey, could you put the damn lights on that we've already
right, could you please put them on and not just do it on
I'm like, well, Mark's not there. Don't you know I need my Mark? No, but the weather has been
samesies, bro.
I don't want to. I hate to say it. I'm like, I don't want to be outside right now. Like I can install it. I could wire it. I would prefer Mark to be there with me.
I could wire. Let's be clear. I could wire it.
Mark put my ditch lights back on Saturday. So there are definitely things that came off the 22 that are going back on the 24. My Morimoto 4-banger pod lights, the pillar ditch lights went back on. And it was like super nice Saturday, kind of mid-morning. And until we went outside.
Oh, it was
like
very nice, yeah.
as soon as we walked into the driveway, it was like gale force winds and freezing.
Night Valley dude. Thanks for joining.
Did you save your slide out drawer and all that stuff you had?
Yeah, I have. There's a handful of things that I left on the 22. I didn't take off my med flaps. Obviously, I didn't take off my bumper. There's a few other things on there, but any of my my diabolical slide floor and with some molly panels, and we do have the attic shelf from Mountain to Metal reinstalled. That came out and went right back in because it's super cool. So
you want the ass to go back in?
The ass went back in the new guy.
The older you get, it doesn't go back. You can't back that thing up on the dance.
Let's not talk about it. I've only got a couple hours left.
Look, old lady.
Seriously, you see these grays?
I know. I'm there. Trust me.
It's just glitter.
I'm a guy and we can shave the grays off.
That's next.
I haven't found one yet, but Sydney has said I have them.
I've seen them.
Shut up.
And speaking of seeing, we're going to see Jess this weekend, Kelly.
We are going to see Jess this weekend.
We're going to get to do Bronco stuff of sorts.
Of sorts.
We're not doing Bronco stuff. We're doing bourbon stuff.
Right. We're doing bourbon and Broncos.
But I got to get bourbon and Broncos. I like the sound of that.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I thought of that.
Yeah, you didn't think of it. I did.
No, but we're going to do part of the bourbon trail. We're going to get to see a couple spots, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. So I am drinking today out of my Heaven Hill Distillery glass from Bardstown. By the way, this was that thing from Star Wars, the Death Star ice cubes.
Yeah.
There's Death Star ice cubes in my
Mark,
cups.
I'm sorry. She just didn't follow through. She didn't know.
Took me a second.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're at the Bourbon Trail.
We are doing the Bourbon Trail. We're going to
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace, which that's number one for me. Stop. We're not getting to do the tours. I looked again. The damn tour for Buffalo.
I looked again. I put us on the wait list.
Oh, really?
Oh, did you?
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, we might be waiting for 6 months, but
yeah, well, F it. But I just want to see the place, and I want to. The cool thing about Buffalo Trace is each day they put out new but different bottles of stuff that's sometimes hard to get, especially locally. For me, like getting Eagle Rare, the Elmer tea, whatever. Like there's certain bottles.
Elmer Fudd.
One bourbons. But no, there's some in Blanton's. There's Blanton's, which Honest has got me hooked on Blanton's. But then I gotta go to Maker's Mart. I want to dip my damn. It's the stupidest.
I don't know. Well, do they let him dip it?
No, Dave. It's not stupid. It's super fun. So I went 2 years ago around Christmas time and went to Maker's and did the tour. And like I got to the end, you dip the bottles in the gift shop, like. Yeah. You buy your bottles and then you get to dip them.
So he doesn't have to do the tour. Okay, good. Because I was nervous that he wouldn't get to do all the things that he wants to do because he doesn't get to.
You don't have to do the tour.
You see one bubbly yeasty.
No, trust me. I don't. You've seen it all. Like, I mean, even though I'm a Jack Daniel's Squire.
Oh, Christ's sake, man.
Stop it.
Let's all bow down. Let's bow down to Squire Kelly.
I gotta go.
It's breaking up. Breaking up.
I had to fit it in the conversation.
For those who don't know, Kelly is a squire of Jack Daniels. She has
I didn't know.
1 foot by 1 foot
Did you know?
piece of land.
Did you know, Jess?
It's been deeded to her.
Yes, I do. I have 1 square foot of land that's been deeded to me.
And she hates bourbon and whiskey.
Kelly, you should hang your deed on the wall right there next to your.
We should hang my deed on the wall.
Christ, man. She struts around like she's queen of bourbon as is, man.
So sad story today. There was a rick house.
Whiskey.
Yes, this hey,
sad story today.
Rest in peace.
There was a rick house that fell today.
At Jack Daniels.
That collapsed at Jack Daniels. And
I'm willing to go help her with the recovery efforts.
I had to make sure that everybody knew that as a squire, I was very, very hurt by this.
I'm sure as a squire, you're supposed to be over there helping clean up.
And Dave said I was supposed to be over there to clean up. And I said, that's okay. I can, as a squire, go over to this rick house and help clean up and then not bring anything back for non-squire attendees. Just saying.
Well,
okay, that's the end of the Squire
The show
story.
just came to a dead halt over Squire Kelly. Christ.
Anyway, so we're gonna do.
So anyway, Saturday we're doing Broncos and bourbon.
Makers.
Hopefully,
We're
well,
doing
Makers
Buffalo
and
Trace,
Buffalo Trace
Makers.
Makers, and I would like to see my beloved Bardstown.
I didn't think that was on the list.
It was third. But it was a tentative third.
Oh,
is
I
that-
have one I'm squeezing in. I don't care if you want to go or not.
Please,
where are we
just
going?
let us know because I
Yeah.
have not planned this at all, and I'm kind of stressed out about it.
I don't plan these things. I just do these things.
Castle and Key. It's
Okay.
right by Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
Okay.
It's supposed to be super cool. All the things. The cool part, and if anybody watching has ever been to any of the distilleries or done any of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, I lived in Kentucky for a couple of years. So it was kind of like, let's go do this. It's like there's so much
You're like
history.
the Squire of Kentucky.
No, we don't talk about it.
See,
But there's the history behind the distilleries is really cool. Like that's the fun part for me to go on the tours. Like I don't need to see your big vats of corn and smell
Yeah.
the stinky stuff and see the rick houses. Like I want to learn about the
She
history
thinks
that's
it's
going on
stinky
there.
too. It's not just me. Sorry.
But
Go ahead.
anyway, Castle and Key sounds super cool. I'd love to grab a tasting there because I have a bottle of their bourbon, but I've yet to actually open it and taste it.
Hey, in full transparency, I don't hate all bourbons.
She does.
I do like the cream
What?
cream bourbons.
Like
Like,
not real bourbon, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly.
shh,
Jesus.
just let me.
It's like going.
You're gonna tell me you like Screwball.
I like Pink Whitney.
I did not say I like Pink Whitney.
That's the vodka I drink.
No. I do the real stuff.
That's our son.
That is our son at Pink Whitney.
Christ, found
Yeah.
pink Whitney bottles everywhere in my son's room. Like, look, dude,
As an adult,
it's like the pink lemonade of vodka.
yeah, it is. It's like
Yeah.
flavored.
At least
like-
switch him over to Ciroc if he's gonna drink flavored vodkas.
Well,
No.
They're delicious.
I did make him drink some bourbon one day. And remember, he was like,
He did. He like convulsed.
His balls dropped an inch though. It was all right.
But give me a cream bourbon and I'm okay with it. So I don't hate all bourbon. I'm just saying.
It's a cream bourbon. No, you know what?
Just doesn't want it to be spicy at the end.
Look, this beautiful brown water is. I just need maybe a ice cube with it.
You know
I'm great.
why?
I can do it without it.
You know why I say that? Because I don't want to be the sober one of the entire day.
Well, we will be driving, so we're all going to be somewhat
I know. That's why I'm saying I don't want to be the
Legally-
total DD.
legally.
That's why
we're all
I'm saying I don't
sober.
want to be the DD
We'll be driving in Mexico
That's right.
in Mexico.
It's a long
or
way.
Your bourbon
Lexington.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
So Jess, you're gonna have to message me just because my control issues. I need to just know where we're going. I don't care where we're going. I just need to know where we're going, like what our plan is and where we're going.
So if y'all would like to crash Buffalo Wild Wings,
Trace.
Trace 3, right? Buffalo Trace.
Wrong Trace.
We're meeting there at what, 10?
Yes.
Something like
10.
that. No. I'm
'Cause
just
I
saying.
decided.
I'm just saying.
There you
People-
go, Matt.
There you go.
I
Matt.
do need to. I
Saturday,
do need to
10 a.m.
figure out a room. I got to get with Kelly and Jim and see.
I'll just sleep in the Rick house, man. I'll be good.
I'm getting with Kelly and Kelly and Jim to find out where they're staying because I'm not sleeping in a Rick house. I also will not sleep.
How
in,
you get the full experience if you don't?
I also will
you know,
not
sleep
sleep
with the
in
rats.
the Raptor. It's not happening. I'm kind of bougie like that.
legal living. Kentucky.
Jody.
We will not be pushing that limit on Saturday.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Well,
Yeah,
so
no, I will be the DD because I won't drink, so it's fine.
they have vodka there.
Wait, okay, so I will not DD.
They actually Buffalo
Yeah,
Trace.
like all the
they make
places have
2
like other things besides just bourbon. Well, Makers doesn't.
Coca-Colas,
the company has
Makers?
like a
a gin or
it's like
something?
their version of moonshine essentially. It's like their
Which is weird. She'll will drink moonshine, which is
I can't do this. I'm sorry. I just can't.
just hasn't been in the barrel.
Kelly, like if we get to do, have you done a tasting before? Like a
No,
bourbon
I don't
tasting?
like it enough.
You're the only ones that do bourbon.
So if
tasting.
we get an opportunity this weekend to do it, I implore you to sit down and do a tasting because like then you can learn like there's so many different things and ways and like stuff that goes into how you can drink bourbon and like you can customize your glass. You pour the same amount of bourbon in a glass. a little bit of water, a little bit of ice, you know, a little bit of something, your glass is going to taste totally different than mine.
See, I just don't want to be burping bourbon all day.
Burping bourbon. Was that your?
But you won't. Just think of it this way. It's like
in?
super side nerd drinking project. This is why we like it. Kelly.
Are you trying to implore the nerdy side of me? That's what I'm hearing.
Because that's why I like it.
Oh, damn it, Jess.
It's delicious.
You know I'm too much of a nerd. I can't. Like, don't.
Yeah. We're going to make a spreadsheet for it.
Mm-hmm. Damn it, don't include a spreadsheet.
So whether it be 2-wheel drive.
No, wait, did we talk about everything we were supposed to talk about tonight?
And then some.
So bourbon hunting tonight, or bourbon hunting this weekend.
Yes.
So
whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive.
Does it really matter what you drive, Jess?
As long as you're sober.
That's it. Right. Sober. That's it.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Pinkies up. Later. Peace.
See ya.
Bye, guys.